This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. Coming up, is it West Ham for O'Brien? Plus the three lines limp into the quarters. And is it Ireland next for Wil Sagnol? All this and more on Lansdowne Roar. Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast. And as always, please hit that subscribe button. Scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. And if you want opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. Martin, how are you doing? Another week, another day, another dollar. I think I've got that wrong, but anyway.
That's it. Now another early start for us, and yeah, we're bringing out the latest on football to the Raw faithful. So we appreciate all the listeners and viewers. Yeah, we're meeting the key time now. The Euros is hotting up. It's quite exciting, and I'm waiting for the kind of tournament to kind of really kind of flourish and really get going now. This time now, the quarterfinals, and see the kind of cream rise to the top. Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
And then we have a little break, and then we're ready to face England at the Aviva Stadium, Lansdowne Road, 7th September. Because I bought my Nations League package. No, I'm a season ticket holder already. We won't go back there.
No, no, we won't. That caused a little controversy. Yeah, as Martin alluded to, thank you very much. Some fantastic numbers for us on the YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. We do try to do 3 shows a week, and we are going to start doing the lives again, Martin, aren't we? We're going to get back onto that. And because I do miss not doing the lives. I love the interaction with the Roar faithful and just having that bit of crack on there. Good 90 minutes of content, shall we say. Yeah, the Euros, they're definitely hotting up. I mean, it got pretty hot and steamy last night between England and Slovakia. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But I think the first story we've got to talk about, because we are an Irish podcast, we are the voice of the fans. Was it for the fans, by the fans?
That's it.
By the fans, for the fans. We are getting all our puns and we're getting everything completely mixed up, aren't we? We haven't got a clue what's going on, you and I. I did actually... No, sorry, we got trolled on the last YouTube channel. The last YouTube post. Some fella went, who wants to listen to these two nobodies? And, it was on the Keane and Dunphy one. And I said, listen, you leave Keane and Dunphy alone. They have a lot to contribute. You might like, oh, your wit knows no bounds. See ya. I was like, yeah, mate, you go and shout at some clouds, pal. But that's the sort. Yeah, see, you'd think we're above that, and you would be wrong. We're very lonely, sad people, the two of us. But yes. Anyway, let's get into the first story. We are an Irish podcast, so I want to talk about Jake O'Brien. There he is there playing for Lyon. He's had a very good season for Lyon, Jake O'Brien. Turns out there's a couple of clubs after him, but the most concrete club after him, Martin, or the most concrete rumour for Jake O'Brien is West Ham, who apparently are looking for him. He's been considered as an alternative to Max Killam in case West Ham cannot finalise a deal with Wolves. The Irish defender had a strong finish to the season with Lyon, where he played alongside on loan hammer Saeed Benrahma. He was expected to make his move permanent to Lyon. This has now come from the Claret and You fan page. And my future brother-in-law, Martin, who is a West Ham fan, he's quite, bless him, West Ham, God love him. But yeah, he is... He's got his contacts as well, but he says that it's, from what he knows anyway, from what he's heard, that West Ham are really after this guy. Apparently, Lyon want £15 million for Jake, after only paying Crystal Palace $850K. So there you go. Obviously, the question comes in for Jake O'Brien. Is it a move? It would it be a smart move going to the Premier League, going to a Premier League side now after having such a good league on the continent in League One, or a good season on the continent in League One?
I think it would be good for him to come back kind of home, as it were. Because
Jesus, don't start that again.
I know, I'm going to upset people with that comment. But no, I think it would be. I mean, look, he's got some great experience out there, but, I think for his profile, he's kind of under the radar a little bit over there, coming into the senior squad now, has played okay. We've got some, although we're very blessed at the back with the likes of Omar Bamadeli. And then
it's for you to say, Martin. God, the names just rolling off the tongue this morning.
but we've had a few injury problems there as well. And I think if he wants to make that position his own, and come in there now, he can possibly do that by coming back to English football and being what Nathan Collins was. It's the same kind of situation with him when he had his move. I thought that was why he should do it. So actually, there's probably an argument against him coming back because he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet with them. But a lot of these clubs are building, and I can see him. New management under West Ham. He will. That's a key signing as well to get that right. I mean, I've also seen he was linked with Everton, and I think
Yes.
they've got a number of players who possibly be moving on. Like Braithwaite is obviously in contention to kind of get to Man United, perhaps linked there. So they will be looking. I mean, it's going to be like centre back kind of merry-go-round at the moment. And I think for his profile, dare I say it, he would he be in the first name on the team sheet defensively for Everton, perhaps, if he fancies himself. And the Premier League is where it's at, let's be honest. So he needs to kind of be playing there. Now, he could come to Everton and struggle, but he could easily do that at Everton, West Ham as well. So it's getting the decision right, ultimately. And,
Yeah. I mean,
a financial reward as well, let's be honest. If he comes to the Premier League, the money's going up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I mean, obviously, Lopetegui now is the new West Ham manager. And, that's a good thing because new manager and you don't want to be the guy that comes that's kind of signed and then a new manager comes in and he doesn't want you. But I suppose at West Ham as well, 1+ at the moment, they don't have any centre backs, so they are desperate for that position. So it could be an opportunity for Jake, if he gets in there, hits the ground running, and makes that starting berth his own. But then of course we are only in July, literally the 1st of July, so it could be a case of they get him and then they get like 2 or 3 other players and then he's on the bench. He's at this stage of his career though, Jacob Bryan. How old is he? Is he 22?
Yeah, he's not out. He's a young lad, really. Isn't he? Well, he's young and kind of inexperienced in the
23.
international wise, isn't he?
He's 23. So he needs to be playing football regularly. Now, I don't know. I think maybe given another couple of years, if he stayed at Lyon, for me, I don't think that they had a terrible season last season. But if he stayed at Lyon and he kind of got those minutes under his belt, I know that'll annoy some people, that phrase. I think that would be good for him as well. He does not need to be sitting on the bench as a 23-year-old. He needs to be developing. He needs to be learning the game. He needs that experience. I mean, we like Jacob Bryan, and in fact, a lot of the West Ham fans do as well. Just on this fan forum, some of the comments here: rather 15 million than 45 million for Kilman. Talking about O'Brien, they could get Greaves from Hull as well. So 2 defenders for 30 million better than 1. We could buy O'Brien and Greaves for less than Killam alone. No brainer for me. Killam is overpriced at 45. We need to walk away and look at getting O'Brien and Greaves in for combined 30 mil. A lot of people, like a lot of West Ham fans, and there's a fair few comments. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll have it. We're having O'Brien. He's a good player, O'Brien. He's a goal threat. My brother-in-law was asked me about him, and I said, "Yeah, look, he's good. He's decent on the ball. He's not Van Dijk-esque or anything like that, but he's certainly not Shane Duffy levels in terms of being on the ball. He's, you don't get a full season at a club like Lyon unless you're comfortable on the ball. So he's comfortable on the ball. I'm not saying he's going to make it rain. He's diligent on the ball. He's also a very good goal threat as well from a corner, which actually would probably suit Everton a bit more, considering where they're at. And considering the style of management between Lopetegui and Sean Dyche as well. So, he's a good player. And if he had another season in Europe, Martin, I wouldn't be too upset about that. But wherever he goes, he cannot be sitting on the bench.
No, that's the important thing for him, and even Everton, though, I think with I wouldn't mind him going there, to be honest. I know they may struggle, but Dyche has got a bit more time now. I think they might. Obviously a little bit of nonsense going on in the background with Everton, but new stadium moving to. Seamus has renewed his contract there, hasn't he? I think that's probably a good sounding board for Dyche to speak to Seamus and see, hey, what's this lad about? Could be a good move for him there to be kind of part of that kind of rebirth of Everton. So, I think I've no problem when it comes to Premier League. We want as many of our players playing at the high level, and he's done well at League 1, but he needs to I like the kind of profile raising, and I think he'll be tested week in, week out in the Premier League, and I think that will make him better.
That's who he plays.
Yeah,
that's who he plays, and we've seen this before. Like we do not want our young players sitting on the bench. Yeah, I think Everton would probably suit him more. Like for me, I think Everton, if he plays him, get him in at Everton. They've got financial restrictions. Obviously, they could be going back into administration. They've got financial a situation going on there, so it might be a great way for him to dip his toe into the Premier League, get that experience, show what he can do, and then get that move if he can progress and get better and better. But anyway, we'll keep you updated on that. And sure, look, I mean, it's the 1st of July, so this is very, very early. So it's nice to hear, though, an Irish player, a young Irish player, sought after by a decent mid-table side, to be fair, like West Ham. So we need to, we'll keep you informed of any other potential moves, Marks. That's what we do here at Lansdowne Roar. Right, and also what we do here, because we're Irish, we like to look at England and laugh, even though they've qualified for a tournament that we aren't even anywhere near in the running for. But here we are, England last night. Great goal there with Jude Bellingham, who I just want to take this opportunity because Connor, who obviously had over at Republic of Ireland Player Tracker, took great pleasure in digging me about Jude Bellingham because I complimented Jude Bellingham on being a very good player, on a fantastic player, actually. He's only 22. And Connor took every opportunity, didn't he, Martin, to dig me in the ribs there like that when, England played poorly. He obviously wanted to play Jude Bellingham. Well, he came up trumps with him last night with a very late equaliser there, an overhead. And then, of course, Harry Kane got the goal. 2-1, it finished. England limp into the quarterfinals. They will play Switzerland on Saturday, which will be a completely different match than what they had against Slovakia last night, that's for sure. The dream machine goes on, Martin. The 3 lines continue, but surely, judging on last night's performance, it's not going to continue much longer, is it?
No, but they just have that. It seems to all be falling into place, isn't it? They've had that magic moment now of Kane has now arrived in the tournament. Bellingham got a key goal, got them out of jail. Key moments can win tournaments, and perhaps that's something that will kickstart them. I mean, I think the Swiss will be really good opposition against them. I thought impressive in Dublin when they played us, and very organised. Took it a lot more seriously, perhaps, than Belgium did in that friendly. So, I think it'd be a huge test for them. I think just they will fall short though, England, because I think there's too much in the background going on. I don't think it's a harmonious camp at all. And as we've learned as well from covering Ireland over the years and watching Ireland at tournaments, 2012, we saw Stephen Hunt very aggrieved that he didn't get time. And I remember him throwing his shin pads on the pitch when he made his final substitution. I think he put Paul Green on in 2012 ahead of him. And, the disgust from Stephen Hunt at that time was mad to see, and I know he spoke about it since. That kind of a lot of similarities for me last night. The team a whole buzz in England. Kane's going round off the bench because he'd been subbed, of course, and they're all backslapping and really celebrating, trying to get the fans to fall in love with him again. And I think it's gone viral a little bit. You've got Gomez and you've got Trent in the background. They're just not involved in it at all. I think it's not a happy camp, and I think he's done very well, Southgate, to say, try and diffuse it, bring it on him. He's taking that weight of the world on his shoulders, the criticism. But, England fans heard him on the radio very early this morning saying, they were ready to boo. They were going to stay in the ground and boo them off. And it's tournament football. It can just be, you can win it and play crap. You can do that. I think the Swiss will be a huge test, but, England they've got too many world-class players there who are, have had great seasons who they need to turn up, and they could do that. And then they're getting further and further along. Confidence is building. The fans will start getting behind them again. I thought it was notable, Declan Rice and Kane went over to the England fans in the stadium and are kind of trying to get that bond of, between the fans in the stadium, so that they're not going to boo. They're not going to get on their backs because, everyone's going on there for a little bit of a holiday jolly up. But you do need the fans on your side in stadiums. And
the England team remind me of Smithers in The Simpsons. He dresses up as a teddy bear. It's like that. Love me, hug me. For those of you listening, we put a picture of Smithers sitting on Mr. Burns' lap in a giant teddy bear. You know, he pretends to be Bobo. Hug me. Yeah, it is a bit.
But it's the end for Southgate, without doubt. Whatever way, I think his legacy, if they do well with it, and he can get them to a semi-final, I said it won't be enough for the fans anyway. But he will definitely go, and he can argue then.
How funny would it be if he actually won it?
And then he goes. Yeah, right.
It can happen. It can happen.
I think it can happen.
Yeah, we've seen teams, do this poorly, and then all of a sudden roar into life in the semis, or fumble away to the final, and all of a sudden, they perform or they get a lucky break in the final.
Good teams find a way to win, and that's it. And even Spain, like 1-0 down to Georgia, which was fantastic because I really wanted Georgia to do well. I knew they wouldn't win because
hard
work. No, I'm just saying.
You're going outside the lane, Martin. Let's stick to England.
I'm just when you go 1-0 down, it's not over. You good teams find a way of winning, and they come back, don't they?
Yeah, no, of course.
And even though it was 90 seconds off it,
Berkey time.
I still think there's too many. I don't like the antics of Pickford. That's not gone down well. I know Declan Rice was in a bit of a row afterwards with the Slovakia coach.
Yeah, he called him a ball. We won't say the words, but he said, "F off, you bald-headed. See you next Tuesday."
Yeah. And that's quite audible. It was quite funny to see that, actually. But
he's some. I'm trying not to swear, Declan Rice. He's he hit the post as well, actually. England, probably two best chances, two best pieces of work, actually, with two offside goals. And he hit the post. Kane one whiz past the post as well. And you just thought it's not going to happen for England. But going back to Declan Rice, he is some mouthy git, isn't he? Remember when he was on Twitter that time, and he put when he was playing for England or he was playing for Ireland, it's up the Ra, wait till we get England. He is some.
And that's a good while ago, though. Now, it's still
it's funny. Learned, has he?
No, but I think he's doing it now as kind of future England captain kind of role in a way that I
insult the manager,
mates, and I'll do this. The same kind of thing. The kind of elite players there, they have that kind of protectiveness about their fellow teammates, but also have this kind of arrogance, like this self-confidence. Bellingham, great goal to technically execute that. He didn't do an awful lot in the game, and I do agree with you. I think he's a fantastic player, and he's I think you don't.
Connor's just
you can't do it at Madrid and not be a good player, right? So, and I like even in the media stuff how he is. He seems a bit grounded. I don't know if that's a little bit like I'm gonna proper go off track here. A little bit like Anthony Joshua as a boxer.
That is very off
track. Nice guy. Makes out I'm a nice guy. I'm a man of the people. I'm humble, but really you're an arsehole. I hope that isn't the thing with Jude Bellingham, right? But he after he scored, he runs, doesn't he, to the bench and go, who else? I don't know about,
Did he do that?
Yeah, he did. They all seem to have this, Cole Palmer now, all this generation of footballers now, they seem to have these celebrations, don't they? That they are trying to make iconic. Like every player now is going to have a celebration. Garnacho has it, Cole Palmer, like Harry Kane.
Robbie Keane had it.
Keane had it, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the first ones to really do it, wasn't he?
Yeah, still my favourite celebration is Brian Laudrup against Brazil, the 3-2 for Denmark, France 98. Now he just slides like that. I did that before, and I remember I stopped doing it because I almost slid in some dog shit when I was playing football. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that anymore. Growing up in the fields of Moorfield. But yeah, see that I can't. See, this is what pisses me off about. I wasn't going to swear, but you opened the floodgates now, Martin. Thank you. I had to put in the explicit column now on when we upload it and in YouTube. But it's what annoys me about modern day footballer. They give it all that. You've been shit. You've been shit for 90 minutes. You have been dreadful throughout the whole tournament. England fans, and I get the frustration of England fans who want to boo them because you're thinking, hold on, you're a multi-million pound squad. One of the arguably in the top three in terms of squads, right? Have a great chance to win this. Really, probably should be doing so much better. Should be battering Slovakia. The Slovakia shit. Let's be honest. dreadful. Couldn't hold on to the ball. But yet, even when they were 2-1 down, they almost they had the chance there, didn't they? Where I don't know if I can't remember the England fullback. No, I think it was one of the centre backs actually. He just got the block in, and the guy was right in front of the goal. He just got the block in, or just did enough to put him off. 2-2, and you think that goes to penalties, and you think, we don't know about these. They got lucky. They got very lucky. They were very poor. But I don't like that when you have, Jordan Pickford, his antics. Was that when he held onto the ball and he's like, yeah, like,
yeah.
You've been shit, mate. You've all been shit. You Jordan Pickford, you got done by a goal that was nearly 40 yards out, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like against Denmark, and Jude Bellingham, you haven't done much. He's a quality player. You haven't done much. Declan Rice, poor. Just get a hold of yourselves. It's Slovakia. Now, don't get me wrong. We'd be like, if we were in the same situation, we'd be going mad. We'd be celebrating, jumping up and down, actually. And that brings me on to my next little clip here. I've got this clip here from ITV, so hopefully it doesn't get taken down on YouTube. But here's the ITV crew celebrating. Was it the equaliser or the winner?
Equaliser. This is the equaliser with Ian Wright and Gary Neville.
Yeah. Watch
themselves.
Yeah. Watch Roy. Because I'm absolutely certain and not one of those realise that they're being filmed.
Yeah.
But Roy's celebration is just like, yeah.
Just muted, going around professional.
Yeah. I hate that though. It's so clearly choreographed.
That staged, and like Rio does it, doesn't he, all the time as well? But that's
just like, fuck off. Fuck right off. I hate that.
Give me a good idea now. I think we should get another camera for in the when you're next in Lansdowne Road, videoing you just throughout the game,
crying just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just waiting, sitting there for like 90, like for about 5 games, waiting for something to happen. Jesus, I wanted to chip. Just wait for a goal, like, not even just a goal. It's. I just hate that. It's so choreographed. Of course, now one of the comments I heard yesterday, and he will be listening. He will be listening, and I'm sure I'll get a WhatsApp text later on. I'll see if he does actually. But one I heard was now, they'd be unbearable now. They're being, basically like the English should be arrogant. I don't think they are being arrogant. I think they've got slated. And I looked at the Mail, I looked at the Mirror, and players like, I think Southgate got 1 out of 10 by one pundit. And no one here. Yourself, man. Obviously, we both live over here in England. Like, no one here is going, oh yeah, we're gonna win it now. There's no arrogance here. It's just like they're shit.
They're ready to rant when it goes wrong. They don't believe they're gonna win it. They're just pissed off and angry and can't wait. They've been denied the opportunity to vent, I think.
Well, yeah, I think they'd almost wanted them to, because let's be honest, right? They're playing Switzerland. Switzerland, a whole different ball game, and they are a good side, and they gave us a lesson in Lansdowne Road before the Euros, and they weren't even a full pelt, because you don't want to get injured before the tournament starts. And they're organised, disciplined. Their passing is a lot better. Slovakia couldn't hold on to the ball at spells yesterday, which is quite surprising for a Central European side, or Eastern Central European side. Slovakia, it's kind of on the border there. They couldn't hold on to the ball. Normally they're quite crisp and organised. Switzerland are a very good team, and you have a couple of players that can really hurt you. And I think if England play like that again, they are in serious trouble. And if England play like that and they go up against a decent team, like a very good side, the Dutch is on their side, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, they are. Yeah.
The Dutch,
the semi-final.
The Dutch aren't great either, so they might get lucky. But if they play against a top side, they will get a hiding. But last minute winner. Last minute equalizer. That could be enough to galvanize the team as well. And all of a sudden they could click. I don't think they will, though. I think
they've got a lot of big characters in the camp, and I think they're not going to be happy just being bit part on this. Like Trent now, if he's set aside now for Kobe Mainu, he's not going to be happy. He's not going to.
Apparently,
difficult one, isn't it, for them?
I heard he was excellent, Kobe. I didn't get to see all of the match. I
Yeah.
kind of watched the later stages at work, and even all the football fans at work were just like, "God, we're shit."
Yeah.
And even when they won, there was like, "We're happy, but God, we were terrible."
No, but they can turn on performances, England. I think that, like I said,
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them turn up and start playing and get an early goal. It's that's where they get negative about. Like that's where Southgate gets negative. They might get an early goal against Switzerland, and instead of going for it and be comfortable and seeing out the game comfortably 2-3-0, he just goes conservative, doesn't he? Ironically, coming up to election week.
It's only me. I bring up the politics and stuff.
I did like that though. I thought it was quite funny. When England next play, we'll have Keir Starmer as our Prime Minister. Someone got very political because there's all the politicians are jumping on it, aren't they? It's quite funny, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I will be voting.
And it's all set up because it was all around, the feel good factor, Euro 96. Then Labour came in, didn't they? That was it.
Well, they came in the following year, yeah.
Yeah.
Like May, I think.
Thing, wasn't it?
I think it was like September '97.
Yeah.
I remember that. No, I mean, it's gonna be. I can't wait to see it. Look, in the country, it'd be good crack if England won it, and also Irish Twitter would be amazing. Well, we'll probably have to do a live, Martin. Will we have to do a live for the final on the 14th of July? Imagine that. Imagine if England were in the final. We'd have to do a live after that.
Well, it galvanizes the country. You can see how well it galvanized us when we've been in them, and whatever way, whenever the country kind of stops when you're playing in them, and when it gets to a final, God.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we do a live one on the final. I think that'd be great, especially if imagine if England won it. We'd be like a helpline, wouldn't we? Yeah. Get it out, lads. Come on, tell us, and then you'd be getting all abuse because you think,
yeah.
I'd have to do that if we're live. Anyway, so England face Switzerland on Saturday, and we'll see what happens. We might do an extra one. We try to keep 3 a week, but we might do an extra one if Martin isn't too heartbroken to go out. Right, moving. You knew that was coming. Moving on to the last topic here, and that is, well, of course, Georgia are out. There he is, Wil Sagnol, the Georgia coach. They went out, took a 1-0 lead over Spain. Thought, wow, maybe we're on the verge of a miracle here, and then Spain woke up and gave them a 4-1 hiding in the end. I think Georgia were completely knackered, but Georgia played very well. And, have given themselves some excellent credit. Got out, have done something that Scotland have never done in 12 attempts, and that is get out of the group stage of a major tournament there, Georgia. So Wil Sagnol can leave with his head held high, Euro 2024, and also Georgia can leave with their heads held high. But what next for Wil Sagnol? Now, nothing's really come out, but do you reckon, just very quickly, because we don't really have any additional information, Martin, but do you think now Mr. Technical Director, or what's his Director of Football, will make a move and get his man?
It might be something I think we should definitely on the radar. We should be having a conversation. Should we be approached? I mean, the speculation was back in March, wasn't it, that didn't expect Georgia to qualify in the playoff against Greece, and then they went and did that.
Just to clarify, so Technical Director, that's FAI Technical Director. Yeah. Sorry, Director of Football, FAI Director of Football. Yeah. Sorry, Martin, go ahead.
But yeah, that was a speculation. And then, we didn't get our man because he ended up qualifying. I like them. They're very disciplined. They played fantastically well, ran out of steam. I expected that to happen. But, they've had a great experience. And what I think is key for Irish fans to kind of recognise is, I know you said Slovakia are shy earlier, but, these teams, when they come to tournaments, they're organised. They've got a structure in place. Very disciplined and coached probably within an inch of their lives. They all know what each other's doing, which you'd expect from professional, elite sportsmen, right? So you're going to have that anyway, and it's the coaching has got to be put in place. So it takes a lot of time to do that. We need that in Ireland. We need that in our coaching kind of setup. I wouldn't have a problem if he was approached and got him in there. But these teams, when we're going to be playing them in future competitions, they're going to be hard to beat and stuff, and that's what we need to be now. We need to make, I know John O'Shea, even in his last interim post for the games recently, he said, we need to be hard to beat, we need to be organised, and we need to make Lansdowne Road a bit of a fortress, basically. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you got it.
Yeah, but you got to give him something to shout about, and yeah, like you're right, Willie Sagnol. But
Yeah.
of course, he's not going to want to jump straight into management. It's the 1st of July. We play England on the 7th of September. That's our next game, and so in England will probably have another manager. They'll have a new manager. I'd be shocked if Southgate, even if they won at Southgate, like,
no, he's gone.
Yeah, and probably rightly so. He's kind of outstayed his welcome there a little bit. I think after the last World Cup, the quarterfinals, you've gone from the semis to the final to the quarters. Relegated from the Nations League to the quarters. I think after that, I should have just kind of gone. Someone else needs to bring it to another level. I've taken it as far as I can. So they'll have a new manager as well. But the problem is even if you get a coach in like Willie Sagnol, who's going to coach and coach and coach, because look, when you have players that are tippy top quality, they can change it up a bit because they're top players. Jan Moby, he's a coach. I think he was at Stockport, was it? Somewhere like that. And he turned around and said that, top players, and he was a top player. You tell them once and you get it. The average players, you have to tell them over and over again. And you can't really, it's very difficult with international football because you don't have them every day. You have them in sporadic windows. Maybe a summer camp, but we're not even going to have a summer camp with these lads because we don't have a manager. Which is really frustrating. You don't have a manager to sort of get those tactics in. Nearly every international manager we've had has always had a summer camp or whatever. This new manager won't, whoever that is. And of course, we don't have we have a couple of top players or potentially top players, but we don't have tippy top players. So the coach is going to come in and go, right, I'm going to keep it simple. And that, you can't overcomplicate things at international level because you don't have the players all the time. You can't have this big master plan. You got to keep a simple game plan, and he just won't have that time if it's Willie Sagnol or not to implement that against England. But we might be catching England at the right time, and you might nick a cheeky win over them or a result at least. I think at this stage we probably take not getting a hiding. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it could easily be a goalless draw. I mean, how motivated are England going to be
0-0 win
after a Euros where they're either on a high after winning it or they're disappointed and it's all a big reshuffle in English football? New manager coming in, so it could just be an absolute dreadful game. Just after it's the game, isn't it, where the season started? You're a month in. The players don't really want an international break, but it happens, and then it's that kind of thing. It could just be a dead game, really. Which would suit us more. It's not like they need to win, and what
we'll
we're
be
really
up for
going
it.
to gain from winning. We will be, of course, because you're playing for the future and stuff like that, and obviously you want to do well in the Nations League, but you're trying to impress the new manager with both teams. Will be really, but like England manager knows what's happening. We're what he's coming in to take on players wise, whereas our lot, we've got a number of players who are kind of trying to cement their spaces in the panel now, aren't they? Really.
And the only thing is, and I said before, and then we'll wrap this up, is that we don't have a terrible team. We've actually some good players. There's enough there to work with. Just don't have a manager. Like somebody can come in, be diligent, and look at that and go, yeah, I've got a bit of quality here. I've got enough here. We can hurt teams. We can hurt teams, but we just need to get the right person in place for that. Right, we're going to leave it there, Martin. Thank you very much. As always, and thank you very much out there for listening and or watching. And just before we go, please remember, hit that subscribe button. It really does help. Scan that QR code. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. And of course, we do have lansdowneroar.ie, lansdowneroar.ie. I'm David Dunn. He is Martin Prendergast. We're out here, and hopefully, we'll catch you on the Wednesday. See you later.